Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all my Living and Thriving fans out there. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and it has been a whirlwind of a trip going around and around and around the world and learning about tips and tricks to be a better version of ourselves. And I've fallen in love with so many people. There's just so many good people out there doing wonderful things, and I have been recording back to back. So some of these you'll see that I'm wearing the same shirt. It's because I literally have 3 minutes in between recordings before I can get to the next guest. So that being said, I hope that you are appreciating and enjoying the Living and Thriving series. We have grown as a family, and Living and Thriving podcast on top of the vlog has just been phenomenal. Literally have been all over the world, all within one day. I feel like Doctor Who, waiting to go back into my...
Hi, hang on, let me see. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Let me turn you on.
Sorry, I was doing my intro.
I can't hear you, hang on.
Okay. Anyway, so we've learned a lot about different tips and tricks and things that we can do to improve ourselves, to be better to ourselves, to be better as community members, finding your passion, writing a mission statement, which is my favorite. What is your mission statement? So you read it when you get up and you read it before you go to bed. And that allows you to reprogram any negative thinking that you have. And it gives you a little bit of inspiration to keep doing what makes you passionate, what's exciting. But the big part is finding your passion. Routines are so huge right now. I cannot tell you, vacation's over. Okay, brush your hair, get out, change your clothes at least every other day, folks, and get up and do something productive. Come up with goals, come up with something that you haven't done before, you know, like make a barbecue sauce or paint with your nose. There's just so much you can do without actually having to leave your house that can be fun. You know, I duct taped my daughter to the ceiling the other day and shot her with my Nerf gun. It was exciting. The dogs loved it. She wasn't so thrilled. I keep my eyes open when I sleep. So routines are important, gratitude and blessings. And the reason why Living and Thriving is so successful is because there are so many beautiful people in the world that have been there. They've done that. They've got tips and tricks for you to view and see and use. And my next guest today, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited to learn about who you are, what you do, and what makes you you.
Yes, it's a fun story. So I'm Stephanie Pereira, and I am multi-passionate, right? Meaning that you name it, I maybe have done it. My latest endeavor is writing Embrace the Beautiful Chaos of Motherhood, and it's kind of a guidebook that I needed 13 years ago, right, when I became a mom, just to kind of better handle the chaos of motherhood. And it's really easy just to get swept up in your job as a mom and put always everything above yourself, right? And you can easily lose touch with what you like and who you are. And, you know, maybe 10 years down the road into motherhood, you're like, wait, I don't know how I want to spend this free day that I have. And there's just that disconnect. So it's kind of a guidebook, but in a very fun, conversational way to help moms reconnect with themselves. And then the second part, there's a whole part of reconnecting with your partner, significant other amid the chaos, because that's also something that's, you know, taking a back seat a lot of times to the kids and go of family life.
So Stephanie, I really love the fact that your shirt matches your wall. Was that intentional?
Yeah.
Kind of blend in. It's like you're almost in a vortex.
Right. Yeah. Some people use the green screen. I just match the wall.
Home Depot, what color is that specifically? Does it match?
I took this shirt with the paint.
I love it. No, I was laughing. I was like, oh boy, she's blending in. I have a green screen, but my green screen makes me look like I'm in, you know, the Twilight Zone, maybe Star Wars. Like I haven't figured that balance out yet.
I know how that works.
This was actually kind of an impromptu meeting. I was able to squeeze you in because I feel we don't actually know each other, but I know we will get to know each other. I feel like your messaging is so super Important. See, that was a mamaism. You do that too, don't you?
All the time.
So, you know, I'm a single mom and I have an amazing 14-year-old daughter who I just love.
Yeah.
But, you know, we get on each other's nerves right now. And
Sure.
there are family out there who are literally strangulating each other because
Yeah.
it's not that we don't love, it's not that we don't care, it's
Right.
that mommy
It's a
needs
lot
time
of
out.
togetherness.
It's
Exactly.
a lot, yeah. It's a lot of boogers, a lot of togetherness, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that you're going to be a valuable resource for a lot of parents out there to cope with the mommy need a timeout.
Yeah.
So,
So this this of course no one has ever seen, in our lifetime we haven't had a pandemic like this, thank goodness. But so everyone said no one really knows what to do. And that's true. I see that in my life. It's new for everybody, from homeschooling to all of the togetherness and just being kind of on top of each other all the time, 24/7, when you're not used to that, especially if you have school age kids, right? Because by this point of the year, you're into your school routine. You have your time during the day to work. They're off at school. They come back. You do the homework. You do the extracurricular activities, and that's kind of just been thrown out the window. Different than summer vacation because moms have months to prepare for that mentally, right? I mean, this was like they went to school on Thursday and didn't go back on Friday, and I kind of had Thursday night to prepare for however many months that they were going to be home. So yeah, that was different. But now more than ever, taking time alone for yourself is essential. And not in like, oh, self-care, it's super important, but I think a lot of people confuse it with being selfish. And I actually made a YouTube video yesterday. Hopefully it'll launch later this week. My channel's Embrace the Beautiful Chaos, and it's about getting over being an angry mom. Right now, I notice that my anger creeps up if I'm not. Well, there are five main triggers, but one of the biggest ones is if I'm not taking care of myself and giving myself that space that I need just to decompress. I don't know about your daughter, but my kids, so I have three. I have two boys and a girl, ranging in ages from 13 to 5, and they don't want to go to bed. They don't want to go. And oh, okay, fine. I get it. I respect it. But at the same time, I'm like, we've been together all day. Please, excuse me. Like, go to sleep. And they're like, why? We don't have school tomorrow. I'm like, you do have school tomorrow. Yeah, but there's not a time, like an official start time. So, we run into that. But it's so important just to have that time, even if it's taking a drive, right? It can be as simple as getting in your car, putting on some music, and just driving without necessarily an end destination, for half an hour, right? Or however long, just to feel like you're not on call 24/7. To have that break, I mean, that's essential right now.
well, and I think it's even more essential now because we as adults already have a pile of our concerns, our fears, our stresses, and our things.
Definitely.
And we have to be on double parent, double good parent, because our kids are 15 times more stressed than we are. We can kind of compartmentalize and strategize in ways with years of experience. We have that skill set, whereas our kids, here they are. I'm not sure what state you're in. I'm sorry.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Okay. It's been a very Pennsylvania kind of day. All my guests are from
Okay.
Pennsylvania. I have no idea
That's
why.
cool.
That was random. So I'm in Florida, and the schools, and I'm sure your kids will have going through this too, with the lockdowns and the rehearsals, and they can't have the windows open because of shooters, and so
Right.
they were already stressed.
Right.
And now there's another fear, an unknown fear that's crippling them even more. And so it's our job as parents to be even stronger and braver, facer. That's a Rustieism. than
I
we
love it.
ever have been. And that's exhausting. I mean, I love
It is.
my kid, but
Of
that's
course.
exhausting.
It is. It is probably the most exhausting thing that we'll ever have to do, right? I mean, because any other job, it kind of has an end, right? Like there's either a time that you can definitely check out and go home, but you can't do that as a mom, right? Because even when you're done your work, or even once you get them to bed finally, then your mind is still going. I mean, I know mine is of, okay, well, for tomorrow, well, I should work on this, or I should do that, and not necessarily that we want to be shooting on ourselves all the time, but we do. And I think it's on one hand a sign of how we um, can kind of show love, but at the other side there's just a lot of pressure, and moms are being pulled in all kinds of directions, especially now, right? Because there's a lot of advice on the internet, and which is great. I love internet advice, but a lot of it can pull you in different directions. Somebody's saying this, somebody else is saying that. What's good? But I think it's important, and something that I stress in my book and in everything that I teach pretty much, is that each mom kind of has her own knowing. I mean, you know your kids the best, you know yourself the best, and it's okay to give yourself permission to do something a different way, if that's what works best for your family.
Well, and I love how your first bit, and this is why I wanted you on as soon as possible, because I really, doing this all around the world, I get to talk to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really a theme right now. Not losing your shit on your kids, right? That's
Yeah.
like the theme.
Yeah.
And I love how you talk about,
Easier said than done.
huh?
Definitely easier said than done.
Well, and that was the first part that you were talking about, and having that time out. Mommy needs time out. You need to decompress. You need to rest, even if it's a tubby.
Mm-hmm.
In our house, I'm the only provider. So everything is basically my responsibility. And Chloe is great. I love her. She does help do chores around the house. She's 14,
Right.
But there's, as a parent, there's a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
And I found that throwing on music really, really loud and
Mm-hmm.
just forgetting about all of it and just, jamming out,
Yes.
that's awesome. And you come out of that, even if it's, one album, one song, doesn't matter. You come
Mm-hmm.
out of it reinvigorated, and you're ready to go back to that braver face than you've ever had before.
Definitely.
What other kinds of things do you do? Because you've got two smaller ones. Teenagers, they kind of self-sufficient, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no. So for my kindergartner, I have noticed that she has been extra clingy, right? Because kids are going through a lot, just like parents. But even more so because they don't, like you were saying, they don't have that life experience to kind of draw from. And I definitely feel that she's looking to us now, in ways that she hasn't before, and just kind of, mommy, help me through this. But of course, not saying that directly, always through her actions, in being a little more clingy, or no, don't go, if I'm like, no, I need to take a walk. So something that has been, along with music, that's been a great tool with me, has been getting out into nature, outside, even if it's just sitting out on my deck, or, here in PA, we've had kind of spotty weather. Today is a gorgeous day. So, anytime that the sun shines, I try and get out and just enjoy. It could be watching the trees, blowing the breeze, just easy stuff, just taking it easy, getting out the music, and just having like a little mantra of anything that makes you feel better, that you can kind of put on replay in your head. So it could be, I'm amazed at all I can accomplish in a day. Or it could be something as, today it's okay just to be okay. Or even if it's okay not to be okay, right? If you're having kind of a funky type of day, just to give yourself that permission to just be in whichever state you are, and not get into the judging and into the, oh, I know, I'm so mad that I feel this mad and I don't know what to do about it. It's not.
I think it's rewiring your perspective in the sense
Exactly.
that you are acknowledging that you're getting impatient. And,
Mhm.
when I did have a husband, he snored. That used to irritate me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I talk to a lot of women on this show about how you have to kind of check yourself when you're looking at your spouse and they're irritating you, because they are another human being. They have, and so do you irritate them. But at
Exactly.
this time period, it's what parameters and barriers do you put on so that you don't cause friction. And that's the key. It's acknowledging, okay, he's pissing me off because he's chewing on the couch again, and I hate food on my furniture. Walk away.
Yeah.
You know, it's who he is. And, you know, there are good aspects, and you have to remember the good parts,
Yeah.
not what's triggering you, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's something definitely that I outlined in the whole second part, right? Reconnecting with your significant other. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you just need to let go, right? Especially in quarantine, because you would drive yourself crazy if your normal pet peeves are, you know, you're holding everyone to that same standard during quarantine, where you're not getting as many breaks and as much downtime as you would, you know, in normal life. Yeah, I don't, that's not good mentally. I don't think it's good for anyone's mental health just to have the same expectations. It's all about shifting it, and, you know, for that new normal that we hear all over the place, but it kind of is.
Well, and what I think is, you know, I think this is an amazing time to be riding on this big rock we call Earth,
Mm-hmm.
because this is a shifting period. We get to shift and get good with ourselves and with our partners, and we get to realize things about ourselves that maybe we've been lackadaisy about,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we've ignored. You know, a lot of people are going through grief right now from past stuff that they haven't dealt with, so that's been another trigger for some parents. But I also think it's a really beautiful time to renew who you are, renew your relationships, renew your priorities. And I think for our children especially, they're watching us with big goo eyes. Even our teenagers, they watch, you know.
They do. Yep, they do. No, and I agree. I think it's a big global reset, which in some ways, you know, I'm totally taken back and just, you know, I think it's amazing how the opportunity is presenting itself, that we finally get the chance to choose. You know, what do we want to continue? You know, I've seen a lot, and have started asking myself a lot of, what do I want to keep? You know, things that are going well on the quarantine. What do I want to keep when things kind of start reopening up, as we get back into a different type of flow of life? What are things that I definitely want to bring into that? And then what are things that we were doing before that I kind of want to avoid going back into, just because it was either a habit or it's just what people were doing, so we should do it too, you know? And I think you feel a lot of that as a mom. With my two sons, one's 13, one's 12. They are really into basketball. They play a lot of sports, and it's they're very consuming activities, time consuming. So I've loved having the weekends just to kind of chill and relax. I'm like, wow, look at us not running all over God's green earth. This is amazing, you know? So, and not to say that they won't get back into sports if, you know, eventually things were to reopen. But I don't know. It's something that I'm kind of just thinking on. And
Well, and I think everybody who's really on board with what is going on, which is we don't have any freaking clue what's going on. We just got to stay healthy and stay, you know, relatively inside. And
right,
geez, I'm really bored and I really like to do crossword puzzles. Maybe I'll do that again. So
right,
it's a total and complete rewiring. And as you know, I'm sure you know that it takes 21 days to break or make a habit.
yes,
And when I first started this series, that was the intention behind the series. It's grown, but you know, what are you going to do to make or break your habits? And a habit doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing,
right,
but
exactly.
what are you focused on? And what you said earlier about your pet peeves, I really truly believe that for most of us, those pet peeves are pretty much going to be undeniably gone,
Yeah,
because we've literally had more than 21 days with those pet peeves.
in your face, just glaring at you. I mean, all the time, all day, every day. Yes, we are front and center with our pet peeves. it's a great opportunity to grow, right? Or, you can put whatever spin on it you want, but it's good.
It's good. I didn't kill my husband today.
Right.
But I did get the kitty litter and shovel.
Yeah.
We're preparing.
Never hurts to be prepared.
So I think it must be really interesting prospectively with a kindergartner in the house, because you can have high level conversations with the other two. Not, I mean, they're high level, they're not detailed, they're not granular by any stretch, but
Sure.
they have a little bit more control over how they perceive their environment.
Right.
And a 5-year-old, oh my God, Disney princess, swirls, booger picking, cookies and cakes and unicorns. Yes. And, so she's still at that beautiful age that I absolutely love of pretend land. And I wonder how this is affecting her pretending. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, a lot of times I've noticed that as she's playing, there's definitely a mirroring going on. So I hear a little bit more of, oh, well, we'll take care of this one because she's sick, or, a handful of times, or her saying something about coronavirus, or, oh, yeah, well, I would like to go, but we can't because the airports are shut down, or, so it's definitely working its way into her play. But I mean, at the same time, I haven't noticed a huge difference because she's in a really good place. It's great being 5. I remember I had my 5th birthday party at a McDonald's, and they took this Polaroid shot, and the lady put on the bottom, the lady running the party, happiness is being 5. And that always kind of just stuck in my memory. And it's true. My daughter's just like, yeah, this is great. Everybody's home and we're having lots of time together, and oh yeah, let's play Candyland again, or let's go outside, so we've been doing lots of bike rides and stuff, which she loves to do. So I haven't seen a huge difference in terms of like less pretending, more pretending, just other than those couple of highlights of her bringing in kind of some real life into the pretending.
Well, and children do that anyway. That's how they adjust to the reality of the situation. I'm curious, I was talking to another person in Pennsylvania today. She specializes in bullying, and we were talking about what children have been going through anyway, and now this, and the transition. So your kids, my kids, they don't really have the same kind of scheduling or the same kind of stability that the school provides. You don't have the bell going off, even though I would like to find one. That would be fun. That would be
Please
a lot
let
of
me know if you do.
I will. That'll be a lot of fun. And maybe a bullhorn to do the morning announcements. Like, we could have fun with this girl. Anyway, mayhem. My curiosity, I don't like to be concerned. I don't want to wrinkle. So I really put it in terms of curiosity, perspective.
Right.
Is what is going to happen when they transition back into a brick and mortar school.
Yes.
Mine is dual majored. She's getting a college degree and high school diploma. So in August, she starts college and her high school diploma.
That's great.
At 14. But
right.
That's a lot coming out of this whatever, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the kids transition. Your 5-year-old's probably going to be a little bit more clingy, I would imagine, because that's the age, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, even being together, I think 2 weeks ago, we got to a Friday, it was a sunny day, and I was like, okay, yep, I got to get out of here. I'm taking a walk, and she's like, can I go? And I'm like, no, sorry. And just, oh, and for a split second, I was like, oh, I mean, and I was like, no, it's okay. We spent the whole entire day together. We were playing, we were doing stuff. It's okay. And, just to kind of remind myself, you need that time too. So I went, I got outside, took a walk. It was great. But even in that moment, without any sign of her having to leave us, she was extra clingy. So I think that'll be the norm for a lot of kids. And yeah, we'll see. Godspeed. to the teachers, to the parents, everybody. I mean, to the kids. It's a big transition.
I don't really think we've talked a lot or enough about how the kids are being affected during this place. I mean, it's really been, I know in my world of coaching, it's been really keeping people from suicide. I have domestic violence people trying to find them housing and stuff like that, child abuse, that kind of thing. But we haven't really talked about the transitioning from this lifestyle, vacation life.
Right.
I mean, whatever this creation is, into transitioning back into something that resembles what we left, because it's not going to be what we left. There's no, those of us who went through September 11th and things like that, it's not, there's no such thing. It's gone. But coping mechanisms, what do you recommend for coping mechanisms in this transition time? Because again, addictions are on the rise, suicide between the ages of 14 and 24 are on the rise.
Right.
And kids are plugged in, which I hate. I hate cable with passion.
Yeah.
I hate it because it just doesn't feed your brain with anything good.
Right. Yeah, I know the quickest and easiest escape, right, would be the screens. Is it the best? No, I don't think so. There's a lot of power in connection. So even a conversation with a friend or getting them together, with kids. I have some friends who are organizing like parking lot meetups, where you social distance and follow all the regulations, but there's still that interaction. But everybody handles that differently too. So I think it's all about finding what you enjoy doing, right, and doing it. Allowing yourself that time for a screen, not to say like no screen time, because I think any sweeping rule like that kind of backfires on us, but allowing that, but then also opening up other avenues. A good coping thing, something that's helped me tremendously is it's an energy therapy where there's I actually do this. It's an option on my website through coaching where I walk them through a guided meditation and just reconnect with and any stress that they're experiencing. We kind of focus on that, and through the guided meditation, their subconscious kind of brings up whatever the underlying belief is or the underlying fear is, and a lot of times can just shift that through the course of the meditation. So that's cool. Or even any type of practice like Reiki or something like that, if people are open to it. Otherwise, reading is great, just learning new things and breathing, right? The 5-second breath where you take 5 seconds breath in, hold it for 5 seconds, and then a 5-second breath out. For any big emotion, I think it just kind of breaks it up for us. So if there's any time that I'm feeling that anger creep up or fear, or I'm really anxious about something, and I kind of catch myself in that I just say, okay, hang on, take a breath, 5 seconds in, hold for 5 seconds, 5 seconds out, and just reconnect with the breath is a huge tool. Do that, 5-10 times, and it just is kind of a reset for your body where it breaks you out of that strong emotion, that strong emotional hold, and you can kind of just have a new perspective coming out of that.
What is really fun, so before I go to what is really fun, tell us your website so that they can find that book, and hold the book up one more time.
Oh, yeah, sure. Here's the book, Embrace the Beautiful Chaos of Motherhood, and the website is www.embracethebeautifulchaos.com.
I love the cover. That just cracks me up. That is so true. So true.
I know. In the kitchen, right?
Because just anywhere in life.
Yeah. I mean,
right now.
Another room in my house? I don't think so. Just where I had to do any Zoom calls.
You're like me. I mean, you're doing a podcast and a YouTube and a book and a Parenthood, and so I mean, at any room in our life, there's.
Yeah.
dirty little secrets above the cabinets. I don't know.
Luckily, the camera doesn't pick any of that up, so we're good. We're good.
That's right. I had to tilt that.
Right.
Little duct tape. So I think what's fun about this experience, because I look to have fun in every aspect of life. It's healing, it's exciting, it makes you feel good. And when you can find fun, find it.
Yeah.
My daughter, when the pandemic first hit, down here, people were crazy. I don't know how they were up there, but people were not, they were climbing on shelves like children, like monkeys, getting toilet paper, and every single processed food was gone on the shelf. Now, I don't know how much you know about me, but I'm a celiac, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Right. We had, it was glorious vegetables everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And they were on sale.
Right. You're like, this is amazing.
You know, I felt like I walked into the Mecca. So it's been fun to watch and learn about other people's lifestyles, because, you know, we're gluten-free, we're lactose-free, we're basically keto, we're low carb, and it's just, we're not keto. I still drink my wine or my whiskey, but, you know, but not like that. And
Gotcha.
It's just been fun to eat really healthy. We haven't eaten out at all because I'm not, no, I'm good. But it's been fun to watch people and their cravings. Like, Americans are really into sugar, like deep sugar cravings.
Big time.
Yeah. How's your family adjusting to that? Are you guys totally digging the fact that you've got a shit ton of vegetables and you normally don't, or?
Well, so pre-quarantine, I would classify us as low carb, right? But then into the quarantine, especially in the very beginning, the first few days, the way that my mind was processing it was almost like a snow day, snow, right? So it's like, oh, so we need brownies, we need hot chocolate, you know, like we need that kind of comforting baked goods thing. Now, I have gone to various stores with the mask, with the gloves, the whole protective layer. And brown sugar has been out of stock here for, I don't know, since all of this started, right? And now it's not, we've secured our brown sugar, don't worry. But
everybody's okay, we've got the brown sugar, it's all right now.
Please don't send me any, we've secured it, thanks to Amazon. But anyway, but now it's just fun kind of for me to go in and just out of curiosity, you know, I go and there's still no brown sugar. So I think people, yes, it's a highly, it's just embedded in the culture, right? Of that like comfort and baking, and it's at the very bottom of it, it's an uncertain time, which means that it's a scary time, right? Because what we don't know, it's scary, you know, and even if it's for something better, it can still be really scary. So I feel like we kind of opened a gate a little bit in my household anyway. We are still trying to eat as, you know, healthfully as possible, but there are lots of, there are more snacks, definitely, or, you know, more indulgences. And in the beginning, you know, my husband and I would go back and forth because he's like, oh, this, we can't, you know, this is not a good idea. We need to be still on track. And like, I mean, I think for now, and until we kind of get a better idea of what's happening, and until, you know, some of just the overwhelm kind of calms down a little, it's okay, you know, and it is. So over the past couple weeks, we've definitely incorporated way more vegetables, and we're getting back to it. And it's funny because when we did, my kids, and myself and my husband were like, this is so good, you know, so just reconnecting with that too, it's good, you know, so that's something.
I think it's fun to watch because a lot of people are going into a vacation mindset, or they're stuck in the vacation mindset. They're like, I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so what's one more cookie? You know,
I'm not wearing pants. I mean, I'm wearing pants right now, but I mean, if you're not typically wearing your dress pants, if you're
hey lady, not that kind of show.
sorry. You know, if you're in your sweats and, you they might be like, yeah, go ahead, have another, whereas some of your other clothes that you would have worn are like, nope, you just put it back in the pantry, so.
Absolutely. I think it's time to put your suit and tie back on, or at least your work pants, just so that you can not have to call a carpenter to open up your door frame when we're all said and done here. Because
Exactly.
some of us might end up down that path. But I do find cooking to be a lot more fun, a lot more relaxed, a lot less stressful. We have a lot of things that we're not doing. And at first, I think it was traumatic for some people who are used to being on that high of busy, busy, busy.
Yes,
definitely. But for people like us, we're like, dude,
yes. I can breathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely the latter for sure. I think my husband is more of the first one of, what are we going to do? Right. I mean, it's hard for even when we are on like a traditional vacation, just to sit and relax. So it's been a learning experience for him. He's getting better at it, and anything comes along with practice. So it's good. And hopefully, that extends to all the other people who are just in that busyness. Yeah. And they're either filling up that space with productive things or just letting go of it and living a little, like just relaxing and just being. There's huge power in that.
I love it. So, Miss Stephanie, show us your book one more time. You are a hoot, and if you come out with another one, let me know. Put me in your Rolodex.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
I like the flying kid on the top.
Yeah.
Just cracks me up.
All three of them are flying in there. There's
I know, but it's the expression with the little one.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's lots of fun. It's available on Amazon, and an ebook and paperback, and the audiobook is coming soon. It's being processed by Audible right now. So hopefully by the end of the month.
Is it going to be read by like anybody cool, like Watkinson, or
I read it.
You read it? Oh, cool. They let you do that? That's cool.
Yes, yeah. And it was a really fun experience.
Yeah, that must be really different.
It was. In the beginning, it took a little getting used to, but then definitely by, after the first hour or so, I was in my groove, and it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yay. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Bye, Stephanie.
Bye.
You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and I'm Rustie, and now you really understand why I love what I do. If this job fails me, I want to be a mattress tester. That would be the next job for me. But this is fun, and there are so many beautiful people doing so many wonderful things and coping and thriving and living at a time period that is questionable for a lot of people. And we have our children and we have our partners. And so here we are. Definitely check out Stephanie's book. The links will be found down below, and do something good. And if I say "and" one more time, please write me. Do something good for yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself the gift of 5 minutes time out. It's okay. They're going to be fine. The house will not burn down as long as you unplug the stove. That's a true story. Long story. Anyway, love you. You're beautiful. See you next time.